Hey everybody. I am only going live to test my equipment. I need to have better lighting. And so I thought that I just need to really test my lighting. See. Hmm. 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 I think I like this one better. Like, it's hard to tell. Yeah. Testing. 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 You guys, I'm not saying the word, but while I'm not saying the word, you all guys come along. I'm trying to test my equipment. I normally don't go on this early, but I needed to test and I thought I would come on and talk about frequency because obviously, if you don't see me as something just looking at things, navigating, all actually have been telling me like they literally woke up this morning feeling depressed. And so I want to help you guys with if any of you guys are feeling some kind of way, you waking up, you're in this bad mood, you don't know where it's coming from. A lot of you guys are having problems with just feeling not talk about frequency because we are in a massive frequency shift. We are in a massive energy right now. And so this afternoon, earlier, I was talking to a good friend of mine that's a business owner. And the moment I walked in, she started just, oh my God, I feel this way. And I don't want to overload you with how I am feeling, da 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 da. And she just going, and she's apologizing why she's feeling this way. And so when we were talking, I kind of explained to her to really understand that we're in a frequency shift and it's just not good frequency. It can be also bad frequency. And we were just talking about the ways she can feel a little bit better. She said she woke up this morning and she felt just awful. She felt depressed. But what's so interesting about that, another person came in and the friend of mine's that, hi everybody, thank you for showing up. Hi Ernest, how are you? So what was happening is the other lady came in, a younger girl, and she goes, I don't know what it is. I woke up depressed, and it was so weird because it correlated with what she said. And so I thought that maybe I should come on and talk about this because we're not talking about this. We're not talking about the frequency changes. And I think we've been talking about, we've been talking about like internet and all that, but we're really not talking about the energetic frequency of which we're dealing with right now as we speak. Like, we are all human beings having this experience. We are 80, 75, 80% water. Our brain has 100% water. Think about it. And one thing I would suggest, I'm not a doctor, but drink a lot of water while you're moving this energy through. Okay, while you're moving this energy. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you came on. So while we're moving this energy through, we want to really check what our frequency is feeling. And so when the two women was telling me the same thing, I just felt maybe I need to come to you guys and touch base. How are you feeling? How did you wake up this morning? How you the last few weeks? Thank you so much about my hair. I appreciate it. When anybody asks about my hair, I have to do a shout out. My name is Sarah. I'm owner of Hey Gorgeous You, luxury hair extensions and wigs. You can find me at www.heygorgeousyou.com. And I have been around for over 20 years. So my hair is sourced from very organic places. It has no insecticides and all that stuff, and it actually can be colored. So now that we talked about business, let's talk about the soul. Okay, so this frequency thing that is going on, I think we're all feeling it. You're going to feel it in your bodies. I've had a couple of my friends, literally people that I know that have been hospitalized, has had issues with their blood pressure, having issues with their bodies, having issues. It just blows me away. And we're not talking about it because not all sickness is really your body being truly sick. We never, and I'm not a doctor. I will say that again. I am not a doctor. I am talking about energetic things. And one thing that I am seeing is that with all these frequency changes, because the right frequency can heal you. The right frequency can elevate you. The right frequency can bring abundance in your life, okay? So think about negative frequency. Negative frequency can do the opposite. Negative frequency can make you angry. Negative frequency can make you depressed, all this. So when the two women came in and it was coincide to each other, it was like both of them were saying, that's the first thing they said to me is, oh my gosh, I woke up and I felt so depressed. And then the one business owner, she goes, I don't mean to overwhelm you with what I'm feeling. She's thinking is maybe I'm going through my menstrual, maybe I'm getting ready to have a menstrual. No, it's the frequency, you guys. We are in a frequency war. And what frequency are you in right now? Well, you use frequency that is a good, um, Fernando, that's a good question. We use frequency in a positive way by keeping our vibration high. Now, how do you keep your vibration high in a low vibrational hemisphere? Okay. Um, Everybody has their special thing. I'll tell you what I use. I love music, so I always listen to music that is high frequency. And to be honest with you, I don't really watch TV because TV to me is a lower vibration, and it will always, because you can't control it. You really can't control it, and what happens, you get a commercial or you get somebody telling their political agenda. You always gonna have something that will come and invade your frequency. And so when you start out early in the morning from the first thing, and a lot of people that have been on my channel for a while, I speak of this a lot. I talk about how it is so important for us to journal what we are feeling, stay totally in our bodies. It's so interesting because we are so afraid to be in our bodies for what we may feel. And it's okay to feel your body because your body is a thermometer of where your frequency is and how frequency is touching your body. What is it doing in your body? What is it creating in your body? How are you feeling about your health with frequency, right? Frequency can literally make you sick, right? If you're in the wrong frequency, if and it has a lot to do, like if you're not healed in your body, if you're not healed in your soul, if you're not healed in your mind, if you're not on your healing journey, guess what? It's going to change your frequency. And then you have to be careful. You have to be careful because the people around you, you know, because we're sponges. We are water. We are sponges. Just like everything in our world, everything, that's why it's so important to be good to people and to be nice to people and love on people and give them positive energy, positive feedback. Because why? What happens to them happens to us. What happens to us happens to them. So we are so energetically close. And when we realize that the decisions we make send frequency out to the masses. So this is why it's really hard. It's really hard. And so when these girls came to me, two separate situations, they came one after another one. And I think my friend that owns the business, I was sitting there talking to her for about a half hour before the other girl came in and basically said, man, I woke up this morning, I felt depressed, and then she went on into it. And when, hi Brian, how are you? And when she went into it, I started realizing, okay, hi Nora, thank you for showing up. Hi Laura, how all of you guys, thank you for showing up. I wasn't expecting to come on, but I thought I would talk about this subject because we're not talking about it enough. And so we have 7 chakras, okay? We actually have more than that, but we only talk about 7. Like in the spiritual community, a lot of people only talk about 7 or 8 frequencies. Chakras, but your chakras are frequencies, right? And so what's happening with all this frequency war, everybody's fighting for our attention. Everybody's fighting for us to vote this way or to go this way or to go that way or go. You are here to be in your body, to be a free will, to be a free mind, to be a free self. And the biggest thing that I can say to you now is learn how to be by yourself. Learn how to be independent in your decision, because the most important thing is how your body is feeling, because your body is your intuition, your body is your truth. Your body will not lie to you. Your body will tell you when you're in danger. Your body will tell you when you don't feel right about something. Your body is a big indicator of where you're at in your consciousness. Have you ever gone into a crowded area and felt uncomfortable? You go into that crowded area, you feel uncomfortable, and that is your body indicating to you, okay, put your auric field up, put things up, because we absorb energy. And as we absorb energy, guess what? It can change the way we behave, and also we'll start acting a little kind of funny. Just why when those girls came to me and they began to say that they felt depressed, that's the energy. That's a lower vibration energy to take away their source light. And people will do that to you too. You have to be careful at this time. And it's not for you to be afraid. I'm telling you this so because I'm giving you information. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So I personally feel like we don't talk about frequency enough. And there is a lot of, and some of you guys, are you getting every once in a while you get a ringing in the ear? That is, we're going through this massive shift, and we need to ground ourselves. I don't know if any of you guys are doing earthing. What earthing is? Earthing is you go outside, you find you a patch of grass or a patch of dirt, and you put your bare feet in the grass or that dirt, because what that's going to do is going to ground you. The ions that's in the soil, that's in the grass, will balance your energetic field. And so it's very important for you to be mindful of where you're at, how you're living, what's going on in your space, because there are people that don't even realize that they're being influenced by lower energy, and they will come into your space, and the next thing you know, you're either exhausted. Hi, Michelle. you're either exhausted, you're either just, oh my gosh, you don't know what happened. You just like, why am I acting like this? Why do I feel like this? Because it's the frequency. And so it's so important, and this is what I tell everybody on this channel. It's so important to be tapped in to your emotions and your feelings. And a lot of times, if you're unhealed, if you're not on your healing journey, being tapped into your feelings will be very hard for you, because being tapped in into your feelings will trigger you to see where you have injuries. What do I do as a coach? I help my client find the point of injury so they are able to heal their bodies. So when you're in your body, that's why I talk about being in your body a lot. I talk about being in your body because if you're not in your body, you cannot determine why you're being triggered, why you're having problems with relationships, why you're having problems, why when you walk into a room, people go the other way. They're going the other way because they feel your frequency. And have you ever just been around people that just angry? Have you been around people that are just rude? Have you been around people that just pop off like that? That means they have trauma that is lying deep into their chakras, or lying deep in their soul, and it has not been managed, nor has it been taken care of, nor has it been dealt with. And if you do not deal with these things, you will pop off. And so this is why I'm saying you need to be in your body to be able to elevate your frequency, because frequency right now is the key to your peace, your elevation, and your happiness. Because if you're vibrating at a very low frequency, you're going to feel tired, you're going to be sluggish, you don't want people around you. And and there's pros and cons to that, because sometimes if you have a high frequency, you don't want people around you, because those people can lower your frequency. But if you're doing the work and you're really taking care of your auric field, you're really taking care of your because we are a sponge. So if you're taking care of that sponge and you're making sure that things that you don't want in there stay out of there, then what you'll find is that you'll start leveling up to a higher frequency. And like, just like the girls today, even though they begin to talk to me, I know my mission, I know the work that I did and the work that I'm doing and the work that is in process, because I know that when I go and all of a sudden I'm bombarded, I know what to do with that. And so you don't want to just take input, you need to put out. That's why you want to do the work, because a lot of you guys have probably been trying to figure out what is my passion, what is my mission in this world. And so a lot of people that are on their mission, a lot of times, like when those girls came to me with their concerns, I'm on my mission. So when they came to me with their concerns, it was a no-brainer for me. I was able to help them center themselves and give them the understanding why centering yourself is so important, and why staying in a higher vibration and a higher frequency is so important for their mental health. And hi Danny, how are you? And just literally being in your vibration, not in somebody else's vibration, because when you're in somebody else's vibration, you have no control. You have no control, because whatever they're feeling, they're going to have you going like this. It's going to be like you're going to just be slinging here and there and here and there, and people are going to look at you some kind of way because you're not centered. And so because I do this for my living, help people find their peace through their chakras in their frequency. The moment those girls started talking to me, I was just like, wow, this is what I can give to you. This is what I would suggest for you. Here's software that I can give to you. This is what you need to do. And actually, you guys, by the way, am actually working on some. I actually have one digital product that I just haven't put on my YouTube, but that is a free software so you can know, like, when you are feeling depressed or you feeling like you're triggered. It's a simple read how to balance yourself, um, keep yourself in a higher vibration. And I'm telling you, whatever you love, whatever makes you feel happy, whatever makes you feel loved, whatever makes you feel secure, that is the thing you want to do. Like, my favorite thing is I love music. I love music, from classical music to hip hop to everything, okay? So when I am feeling some kind of way and I can't seem to lift my spirit up, I will turn on some of my favorite music. I'll sage my house, because sometimes, especially if you are in a house that you have a lot of people, you have your family, you have a family, you have a spouse, you have a roommate. It is hard sometimes, because that spouse or that family member or that roommate will come in and they're on a lower vibration, and they will trigger you into a lower vibration. That's why it's so important to know who you are and to be tapped into your real feelings. And I know we're in a social media era, but a lot of people that are on social media, especially Instagram, they are not living, they're not displaying their true selves, okay? It's all commercialized. And so, don't look at those things and say, "Oh my gosh, I need to be like that." No, you need to be right where you are and be constant in where you're at, and be mindful of where your frequency is. Don't go by your neighbor, don't go by the person back behind you. You need to stay in your own field and look at your frequency and understand where you're at. And am I really feeling this way, or did somebody come into my world or come into my auric field and I'm catching their disease? You get what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to people's frequency, you want to do social distancing. You want to make sure that you want that person in your auric field. I am very, very funny and very, very, how can I say it, mindful about the people that are in my life. I'm real picky about that. Some people may call me stuck up, they may call me whatever, but I'm not gonna let you like interrupt my peace, right? And so the more you are mindful of how you're feeling, and the beautiful thing about being mindful of how are you feeling, then you can really see what really bothers you. Then you can really see what, hey, Avenue, then you can really see what is really causing the internal conflict within your body. Because a lot of times, the anger, the unsettledness, the moving around all the time to feel like you always got to going somewhere. The reason you do that is because you haven't addressed some things. And sometimes we just need to address those things in the room. There is always an elephant in energetic mind of humanity. In our individual lives, we always have an elephant in the room that we don't want to address, we don't want to talk about, because every time we go over there, we get to feeling some kind of way, and it's not going to go away, you guys. It will go away when you deal with it. Why can't you send gifts? because I haven't set that up and I don't know how to work it. And so y'all have to understand, I am not a techie guru. And I came in because I just bought some new products, things for my I'll put my cash out one day on there. I never have even thought about it. I'm just, I'm here to show love. And so it's so weird because I'm sitting up here with my lighting, my pod, and I'm saying, well, how's this? Because I kind of blog all over my house. So when y'all see me like it's all dark, I'm probably laying in bed. And because creativity is spontaneous. Creativity is everywhere. So you can't go, I'm going to schedule creativity. Creativity shows up when there's a need. And so when I decided to talk about oh, I'm so proud of you. You're growing a YouTube. Oh my God. This is the time. This is the time to show yourself. This is the time. I'm so proud of you. We're here to give our message. Yeah. You Okay, what is a non-emotional debate? How are you a robot? Because I don't know anybody that can't have a non-emotional debate. Have you seen the definition of debate? Like, have you ever seen anybody not get like, in fact, they need to put a blood pressure unit on somebody when they're in the debate. There is no way. I would say that was, if you're not debating about something that you're passionate about, then you're not debating, because that's what debates does do. You're talking about things that deeply move you, that nobody else sees. Well, yeah, I agree. But even though 13%, 50% of 13% of the 50% are creating these situationals, it all has to do with their frequency. It all has to do what's going on and what's the trauma that's lying in their minds, because trauma can hold itself in your mind. It can hold itself in your body. It can hold itself in your hands. What did his ancestors, what was his ancestors? When you're talking about the 13% of the population, though, that small population of the 50% that is creating tragedy, what is going on in their ancestry, what's going on in their psyche. Because every time you interview a person that's on this 50%, they have deep emotional trauma. I'm not saying that's an excuse, but I'm telling you, that's why it's so important for us to understand what our frequency is, because we're going into the time that the frequency is going to be very, how can I say it, unstable. And you're going to have that 13% are going to be the ones that are going to lose their mind. Okay? They're going to be the ones that are going to be committing the 50%, because it does have a lot to do with frequency. It does have a lot to do with but what's going on in your own soul. And sometimes it could jump a generation and hit your generation or hit your children's generation. So that's me giving a non-emotional response to your question. But at the end of the day, as I was talking to avenue, I do appreciate that you want to start a YouTube, because I never knew that my YouTube would even hit 2.2 million watchers. I had no clue. I just had something in my heart that I wanted to share to the world. And to believe it or not, I was very shy as a kid. I wasn't like, I don't want to speak. I began to start speaking when I opened my business, Hey Gorgeous You. And then I began to talk to women to try to help them become empowered, because I didn't have power. I didn't have power. So I go like, how do I teach power when I don't have power? Teach power, and teaching power would help me be more powerful. That's what happened. And so I started giving back to people and helping them empower themselves to and that's how it happened. And all you have to do is start little. You don't even, like, I'm so excited because I bought two tripods, and they're real cool tripods, because you can like screw them on your table, you can screw them on anything that has a shelf, because I literally post. I post on my porch, I post in my office, I post in my bedroom, I post everywhere. My house is a studio. And so is you know, one thing I say to people is just like, find the thing that moves you so much that it can make you tear, and then share it with the world. You know what I'm saying? Find the thing that moves you so much and share it to the world. That is your purpose. And every purpose is different. And Colby, ancestors have a lot to do with it. And I don't want to, I really don't want to get on this subject, but you're putting me in that subject. 2 years ago, no, it was during our lockdown. I had a mindset like you. And I remember when George Floyd was, I remember when he went through unalive. And I remember a few days prior to that happening, I really was feeling something that was I was grieving, and I didn't understand why I was grieving, and I was very depressed, and I didn't know why I was depressed. And at the time I had a roommate, and she came into the house, and she goes like, "Are you okay?" And I go, I don't know. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I feel so sad." And then like two days later, um, he was unalive. And I remember after that, it was like an understanding that I was feeling what was getting ready to happen. And then I created, we did an event, and I was so happy because I think like 2,500 people showed up at that event. And I remember right before that event, I had got a bunch of people together, and one of my partners that was helping me with the event, like, text me at 1 a.m. in the morning and basically said, "Well, I'm calling everybody and I'm just going to cancel our event." And I remember just feeling devastated, because I really believe that we feel things that are coming to us. So I remember that night literally crying myself to sleep, because I really the current events, what was going on, what I had just experienced, what I experienced a few days prior to that. And I remember just laying in bed and crying myself to sleep and just literally saying that it'll all work out. And at 3:33, I was woken up, and all of a sudden, all I could see was faces of ancestors. And I'm seeing faces and faces. And I remember just feeling overwhelmed because I didn't know these people. And some of them I did know. And some of them I recognized, but I didn't really because they were from another lifetime. And I remember just talking to Source and talking to God, just saying, like, why me? Why did you come to me? I don't want to do this. I don't want to have this. And they told me, and I could hear it subconsciously, because you said yes. Because you said yes. And so you have to remember the things that you're fighting for, the things that calling that you have in your soul can be from another time and place. It could be from another time and place way before you. And what you have to understand, that ancestors have all to do with why we're here right now. Progress and non-progress has all to do with our ancestors and our Akasha records. Because if we do not learn from our past, we will never change our future. Hi, Donnie. How are you? Hi, Carrie. How are you guys? Thank you for the hearts. Please, heart, heart, heart. And like and follow. Thank you. So they do have a lot to do with how we move in the world. That's why we have museums, libraries, um, cemeteries. Cemeteries will tell you a lot about our history. You get what I'm saying? So it does matter. Hello, South Africa. Oh, is that in the South? Uganda? Is it in the South? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, okay. So think about it this way. Think about it this way. You will one day be an ancestor. It matters what you do in this life today. It matters what your people see in your world. So we all have debatable things that we want to talk about. But like I said to, was it River? Wait, let me see if I can find them. The interesting thing is that if you're going to start a YouTube and you want to get your message out there, that's the best way to do it. Because it gives your voice an opportunity to make change in our society. And the thing about it is, how they're trying to erase history. You're putting an imprint that cannot be erased. I'm in the process of writing a book, and the book is about, it's called Memories of the Soul. And my first chapter is about, they're trying to take my memory away. And it's a story about a child and her perspective of the time when Kennedy and Martin Luther King and, the 60s, man. And the things that I saw in my perspective as a child. And how I did not understand it, but that was an imprint that I began to understand, because one day my mom just said to me, just out of the blue, because I asked her, Like, why didn't I ever know my great grandparents? And she goes, because her father never knew his father, and her mother never knew their parents. So that made me really think, because my mom is in her 80s. So that made me think, like, who am I really? So it's very important. Ancestors have a lot to do with your vibration, your frequency. And they come in such a peculiar way. They don't give you a message. They don't call. It's 12, 12, 12. It's 12, 12 right now. 12, 12 people. They call you in a certain way. And when they call you, they're calling you because somewhere in your timeline, you said it'll be you. You said, I'm here for the call. I'm here. I'm here to make a difference in this timeline. And I'm telling you, this is not easy because we have so much frequency going on. Thank you, Lex. I appreciate it. We got so much frequencies that are going on. So that's why I was telling you, when these two people told me how they were feeling, I was able to right away help them with that. And I truly believe, you guys, and this is just me speaking to you from the bottom of my heart. I know we have a lot of stuff going on in our world, and it's so negative and it's so anti-human that I truly believe it is learning as humans how to connect will change our world. Because when you learn to connect with people and you learn to have empathy for people and you learn to truly love people, because when I learned to heal, and that's what's so interesting, like when you're able to change your frequency, be in your body, because identifying how you feel, your body is not just being in your head, it's being in your heart, it's being in your soul truth. And while you're in your soul truth, you're actually opening the channels of love, compassion, foresight. You're able to see people in a different way rather than going in our ego and judging people for everything, because you don't know. You really don't know. Kobe, I haven't gained power. It's not power, it's frequency. And frequency is in all of us. You have frequency. In all in humility, I am not trying to be powerful. I am trying to be loving. I'm trying to show you how important it is for us to be tapped in, how us to be empathizers, to be able to see people before they became this ugly person. Because we have so many ugly people in our world, but they came from something else. And when you go to the chain of command, you don't know, you know, um, there's so much diabolical things that are happening to children, and then they become adults and they hurt others. So there's a chain of command to everything. And unless we're able to change our frequency and change who we are as human beings, we can't have impact on a world that is extremely sick. And you want to wake up every day, each day, knowing truly who you are, that the message that you're seeing, the message that you're hearing, the message that you're putting out there is not from somebody else's vibration. It's authentic to your vibration. It's authentic to your frequency. What does your frequency look like? What are you telling? What is your frequency telling other people about you? And that's really important to know. That's really important to see. That's really important to be in your body so you know who you are. Be in your body so you can identify the trauma. Be in your body because loving self, loving yourself at a higher vibration is so impactful, not only to you, but to the people around you. And I'm going to say goodbye on this tone. I want you to like and follow. I want you to share this and thank you. I love this lighting. I'm really liking it. I'm loving my pause. Um, I'm very thankful to have you guys on, and thank you for your love. You have a good day.